course, I know it's hard to remember all 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall now.
Hello and welcome to Speeding Bullets Repackaged. We are back with some action figure goodness. I am Richie.
It's toy time.
Toy time.
Time for tots.
Toy time, Tupper?
And by tots, of course, I mean... What? No. No. I would be action figure Adam.
Ah.
If I was going to have a nickname, it would be action figure Adam, not toy time Tupper. Even though I do enjoy the three T's, I do love a good alliteration. Big fan. But Toy Time Tupper makes me sound like I'm about to do an adult movie. And I would like to...
It gives you versatility.
Not. I just think it sets up expectations that I just cannot achieve. I think that's really the answer that we're looking for there. And also, like, again, we're talking about action figures on the internets. I think there is no correlation between the world of sex work and action figures.
But I'm pretty sure if you
maybe I'm wrong.
Google search of Toy Time Tupper, we may not get what we want.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go down that rabbit hole.
I think somebody should do it for us and report back.
If you're listening to this and you're curious, please report back. info@speedingbulletsreloaded.com is our email address to tell us. If you're seeing this on the YouTubes, do the same. Do the tappy and do a thing and then send it to us or reply in the chat. We don't have a chat. Should we have a chat at some point, Richie, with our fans if we get it?
Well, we kind of like Jesse messages us on Facebook.
One guy does not. That's not. Guy.
But I know what you're saying. Well, when the situation warrants it, we will go there.
Okay. Also, to be fair, this is the second episode of this that we recorded, and nothing has come out yet.
Yeah.
We don't know. If we're gonna be doing this for our enjoyment, which we would 100% do, or if we're gonna have a fan base that comes along with us on this jaunty ride of toy.
Yes. By the time you see or hear this one, the other one will have been posted. I think my idea is like once we have these two.
I hope so.
My idea is once we have these two recorded, then I always have something to work on to keep getting them out at least. Anyways.
I mean, and also, if we're being honest, it is a little easier for us to plan to do this because Rick and I both don't have day jobs, so we can record this any day, any old day for the most part.
Yeah.
It seems a lot easier. You are recording this, right?
Yeah.
What was that about drunk?
I've said except when someone decides to go get drunk, and then we have to like move it. And then we're going to do it the next day. I was
supposed to get high.
Yeah, you were supposed to get high. You got drunk instead. And then instead of doing it during the day today, because you were hungover, we're doing it tonight.
Richie, this is neither the time nor the place to talk about my activities outside of this podcast. This is all...
Just saying.
It's all about toys. Just saying.
All right.
Just using words.
So we've got a plethora of new figures to talk about for you guys. Well, not new figures that are coming soon.
Cornucopia.
Plethora. Let us know which word you like better. Plethora or cornucopia. info@speedingbulletsreloaded.com. Tupper.
I mean, I personally also prefer plethora.
Tupper is going to cover the Marvel Legends stuff coming out and the G.I. Joe stuff, which I have hilariously named because when I was prepping the stuff for the show, I didn't know all the names for the G.I. Joes because I'm not as big into G.I. Joes as Tupper. And also I was really stoned, so the names are, at least in my view, kind of funny. So And I'm going to cover the Marvel...
He's like, they're
not Marvel.
They're better.
Yeah. I'm going to cover the DC Multiverse stuff that's coming out soon, and the NECA horror stuff I just focused on because there's a whackload of NECA stuff, including a bunch of like turtle stuff that's coming out soon. But we can cover that later if you guys are interested. It's just not something that I'm going to be buying, so I'm not really going to make a video about it yet.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. We're really only interested in stuff that we're interested in right now. If again they start sending us stuff, we'll review. We'll cover everything.
Exactly. So
we'll cover it all.
Where do we want to start?
Who's going first? Me or you?
Do we want to do like all Marvel first and then switch to DC, or do you want to like flip flop? How do you want to do it?
Well, it's all based on how you have it set up, right? For what the photos like. Didn't you already put them in?
Well, the photos are in, but I've got to adjust the screen before it shows on the screen, so I have to like make some adjustments on the fly as we go, and it's not going into studio mode for me to be able to do that for some reason. Huh.
Studio mode.
Layout editor.
It's a mode of studio.
Maybe I could. Oh, there we go. Now it's switching back and forth several times. Okay, there we go. There we go. I've got my
internet.
My problem fixed. No, it was a Streamlabs issue. But so I say, because it'll be easier, instead of doing like a flip flop, we'll do all the Marvel stuff first, and then we'll do all the DC, and then we'll do all the G.I. Joe, and then all the NECA. So I will prep the first one of yours, although you did include one DC, so no, you included two DCs because you found things that I didn't
you
find.
said send you the photos. I did.
Okay,
I sent you photos.
I'll talk about them then. So, well, I thought you sent them to me for you to do them, but never mind. We'll start with the Marvel stuff. So the first one, Marvel in your list that I have that we'll put on the screen for them to see is Cyclops.
Cyclops. Yeah, part of the Nemesis wave, which is all up for pre-order, I think, right now. This is the classic Cyclops from it's not the 60s. It's when not with Chris Claremont, but when they hit Giant Size X-Men. I think this is the look from Giant Size X-Men #1. Is that it's a good look for Cyclops, and also like, how dare they start including actual rays, actual laser, really cool optic blast beams.
As much as I'm not a big Cyclops fan, I do have to say that the figures with the optic blasts look pretty cool. And I'm just not a fan as like the characterization. I mean, like the character looks cool and everything, and he's an X-Men, so he's cool, but everyone knows that I think Cyclops is a dick. So
this is a nice iteration. It doesn't really match up with the kind of Age of Apocalypse theme that they have going for the whole line, but you know what? I'm going to forgive it because they included the optic blast. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. What's next?
The next one we've got for you that I just have to switch over here, Cyclops. So Electro is your next one.
Yeah, Electro. So Electro's the No Way Home version, Jamie Foxx as Electro. And Richie, in all seriousness, has already pre-ordered this piece of action figure. It is pretty cool. I gotta say, it is overpriced. I personally think that it's too expensive at $50 for what you're getting. However, I am willing to be proven wrong once you get it. Once it's open and once you're showing up, I'm willing to give up a little bit, but I do think that it's a little overpriced at $50. But it looks cool. I love the piping. I love the Electro effects. They should have included a non-Electro head for Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's fair. That's a good criticism, but otherwise, like the picture that we have showing doesn't actually have all of the effects that are going to be on it. It's there is going to be more. I've seen the other pictures of it, and that's what really sold me on this figure was all the extra pieces of the effects and some of the pictures of how they were posing him in different styles with all the lightning stuff. So
Well, let's be honest. You also want to steal some of those lightning effects and put them around your Flash figures from time to time. Let's be honest.
It's true. It's very true.
It's true. See, I knew it. That's to be, and I'm judging Richie properly here because the Adam figure that I got, I used the Electro effects from that figure on my Barry Allen Flash toy. So I'm not. Oh, I gotta put them back on him too. He's bare. He doesn't have any running effects on him right now, Richie. He's naked.
Oh, that's the thing though with the electro effects is whatever I'm not posing him with can go on different flashes that I have. So
good point. What's next?
Your next one is Fabian Cortez.
Fabian Cortez, yes. The villainous Fabian Cortez. Not a lot come with this figure. I mean, again, you get an extra set of hands and some flame effects for his power of plasma shooting energy, but also, I guess, he absorbs people's powers as well. He has like an energy absorption effect, I think. I can't remember
I'm not
too clearly
on Fabian Cortez.
He's a dick. He's one member of the Acolytes and was he's the one who killed Magneto for a period of time.
Right.
Yeah. He hasn't. I think that this is brand new to the Marvel Legends new Hasbro line. So I think it's the first version of Cortez they've done there. So it's noteworthy for action figure and X-Men fans for that reason. Yeah. Cool. And it comes with a leg.
Yeah, a leg.
A giant leg.
Your next one, despite my original mistaken for it being Wiccan, it is not Wiccan, it is Gambit.
No, it's Gambit. Gambit from the Age of Apocalypse. He does have a very Wiccan attitude, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I get why you would make that mistake. It's a short cape. The hairstyle is very Wiccan. But yeah, it's definitely Gambit. That it's from the Age of Apocalypse, and he comes with an extra set of hands, his bow staff. No energy effects, which is kind of
sad
bummer,
for Gambit.
But you know what are you gonna do? For Gambit.
I think also what probably led to my thought process of that being Wiccan was at that time Wiccan was on my mind a lot because Agatha Harkness, Agatha All Along, had just finished. I think when we first saw the release info for this figure, so I had Wiccan on the brain.
Also, also you're stoned most of the time, so
That's true.
I could see you're making that mistake just organically. Just no one's fault.
And your next one, I'm just prepping up here. I almost forgot her name, but I remembered it when I was putting it up. And I realized I probably could have looked up your G.I. Joes that I've hilariously named, but I also had no real search terms except for what I hilariously named them, so it may not have brought back the results. But yes, Marrow is your next one from that set.
Arrow, yes. Another one I think that is the first time done in the new Marvel Legends style. Marrow's kind of an interesting character. There is, it comes with swords, bone swords, different set of hands. It is nice to see that iteration done. And there's a Generation X character, X-Men character. There's not very many action figures, so probably will be highly coveted. Comes with the arm of Nemesis and an extra hand for Nemesis where it's like open and stuff. So yeah, pretty cool. Next.
your next one is probably one of the biggest ones that we are both anticipating, and that's this new Maximum Spider-Man that is coming out.
Yeah, so the Maximum Spider-Man, which is no release date yet, most of the Nemesis Build-A-Figure figures, I think, are up there. They're pre-order now, available. So they'll be shipping probably in the next week or so. By this time this episode is out, they may even start to be hitting store shelves.
Some of them are,
but
some of them are on shelves, actually. I've seen some of them out already.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But Maximum Spidey, no release date yet, no pre-order
From what I could
yet.
find the other day, apparently the pre-order looks like it's going to be February 13th for this. But this is one that I'll be immediately contacting my folks at GameStop to say, hey, I need 2 of these. Because we don't get a lot of web effects. So...
well, I mean, look, this is the. I mean, yes, the buck or the figure, the actual figure design is ultra posable, so that's always a must when it comes to Spider-Man figures, and they've really upped the bar with their posability, which is great. So that's appealing. But what is making this like a $50 figure is the different hands, the different heads, the different web effects that you can get. There's a lot of stuff in here. The splayed hands are a big one. Like, there's very few Spider-Man action figures that have the splayed out hands, like he's crawling. That's why I got the Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man last in 2023, is because it had those splayed hands, and those are very, very rare. And he is. I haven't taken them off of him. He's actually right here. He's checking out his brand new Millennium Falcon that he got. He's very excited. He got it for Christmas. There he is, just sitting around, just like, look at this great thing. It might be a Lego version. I don't know. Mine is, of course, the Micro Machines Millennium Falcon from back in the 90s. But anyway, yeah. So there are 10 hands that this Marvel Legends figure comes with, including a set that are no gloves, so they actually just show the web shooters as well, and that's super cool. We've never seen that before. And again, like, there's the Spidey sense, and yeah, again, this is going to be a $50 figure, folks, but I think it's worth. I think it's going to be worth the money that it's one of those rare ones where you're just getting a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of great quality Spider-Man accessories. Yeah. So yeah, I'm into it.
And whatever web effects you're not using on that Spidey, throw them on another Spidey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Richie and I are definitely getting this figure, so we are going to do a review when it comes out, and we have it in our hot little hands. So stay tuned for that. What's next?
Next up, we've back to the Nemesis Build-A-Figure, which I probably should have kept all together, but oh well. We're at Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, always a popular one. This is, I think, from X-Force. This is his X-Force look. But again, it's Nightcrawler. Everyone loves Nightcrawler. Comes with a sword, comes with some hands, different head, and the helmet and backpack accessory for the character of Nemesis. But yeah, I feel like Nightcrawler figures are always popular.
I really like this figure. I think it's something, if I see in store, I'll probably pick up. It's not something I pre-ordered, but I do like the look of it. Nightcrawler's a pretty cool figure, and I think there's a lot of posability with that figure as well.
Also, like with the accessories, it's not a big deal if you don't get all of Nemesis and put them together. Like, you have a helmet and a backpack, and then if you're doing like a war scene or something like that, they can kind of just be on the ground, and it actually is not. It doesn't feel like you're getting stuff that isn't going to be used, like a leg or an arm.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Next up, until I had remembered Husk's name, because of the one head in the picture, I was going to call her Screaming Mutant Lady, but I remembered Husk's name, so.
Yes, it's Husk. Character that can rip her skin off. Paige Guthrie, I think, is Sam Guthrie's sister. from Generation X. Again, not very often put in action figure form, so this will be interesting. But they did the smart thing, which is like if you want to do the Nemesis armor build, you got to pick up this not obscure X-Men, but I'd say out of all, this one and Marrow are the two like obscure X-Men in this set. And if you want the cool Nemesis body with the head, you gotta put up the money for Husk.
Yeah.
And have Husk on your shelf. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of shitty. So good job, Hasbro, on forcing people to buy the lady figure to get the gross skull dude.
And your last Marvel Legends one is one of our favorite characters, of course, Wolverine. There's always a Wolverine.
There's always a Wolverine. This is an okay one. This is the Ultimate X-Men Wolverine from the Ultimate comics. And I mean, if you're hugely into that character, it does look, I think, is using some parts from the Astonishing Wolverine that came out in the fall of this year, which was an A-plus top tier figure. Wonderful action figure. Really, really love the claws on that guy. I think they took some of the accessories to put in towards this one. Again, I think it's if you're a Wolverine person, you want to get all the Wolverines, this is perfectly fine to get. There's no Build-A-Figure accessories with him, so he kind of stands on his own. Doesn't thrill me, but you know what? If I found out if he was waiting for me somewhere, I wouldn't be upset. Like it's Wolverine. It's cool.
And I'm just double checking that I didn't miss any of the Marvel ones in the list here. Nope, that is all the Marvel ones. All right.
Well, the marble ones.
Yes.
The marbles.
The Marbles. I'd watch that movie.
Marbles. The Marble Universe. It's just tiny marbles colored similarly to the characters in the MCU.
With logos.
Captain America ball.
All right, so the DC figures that are coming out soon, or coming up, my first one is the Captain Cold figure. It's Captain Cold's classic look, which, funny enough, is not my favorite Captain Cold look. Reminds me too much of the Cold Miser, personally. Except his face isn't blue.
Yes. You're Mr. Cold Miser. We know. I love this. I love that retro Captain Cold, though. I mean, he does a great looking design. It's a great design.
He comes with two other faces that you can swap off for different looks. 4 different hands with a couple with closed grip, a couple with open grips, and then he has, of course, the hands that are on him already, and his cold gun is there as well. Like I said, I prefer the more modern look to Captain Cold, personally, which is not the norm, I know. And also beyond that, if they ever made a CW Flash Captain Cold action figure, I would fucking get that in a second because I love him.
You have a giant man crush on Wentworth Miller, much like everyone else in the world. Yeah.
So
so it's fair. I love this design. If I was collecting all of the DC figures, I'd be very excited to own it. And I love the heads. I love the swappable faces thing. I think that's a brilliant innovation that
although it freaks me out a little bit
so.
with taking faces off. It's just
I agree. I didn't say it wasn't freaky.
Yeah.
Love it.
Now, the next one for DC that's on the list is not one that I'm personally going to get. The character's kind of cool, and this one does glow in the dark, but it's the Captain Carrot action figure, which is funny because I think they just did one a couple years ago, but it was in his yellow costume. This one is the white and red. I think it's more along the lines of from the Grant Morrison's Multiversity when he brought him back in that, and he glows in the dark, which is cool because it's cool when things glow in the dark or figures do stuff beyond posing and stuff. So
I don't know shit about Captain Carrot, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty cool looking toy, I gotta
Yeah.
say. It's got a good design. Yeah.
oops, nah, I almost put the wrong screen up. Sorry. As we navigate this new show, I'm gonna have a couple hiccups as I figure out what's best for putting the figures up. But I think it's working mostly well so far. So that was Captain Carrot. The next one that I'm gonna have on my list is one that I thought I was gonna get initially, because I do like the character, but after getting some closer looks at some of the pictures, I don't think I'm gonna pick up Dark Flash. I don't think there's enough flash effects on it. The suit's cool and everything, but it's not cool enough for me to be like, I gotta have that. And if I see it discounted, I might get it.
Not into it, if I'm honest. The effects are really cool, but I don't have any connection to the character, and also it should be a set of running hands that come with this guy, and
Always
it's just
for a
a fist
Flash.
and an open hand.
Yeah.
That's not something I'm interested in.
The next one, though, is one that I have pre-ordered, and that is, it's being marketed as classic animation 1940 Superman. We all know it's the Fleischer Superman. Maybe they just couldn't use the rights to say Fleischer for some reason. And I was able to find that the chase for the series, and that's one thing cool that DC does, is there's generally for every action figure a chase version, which is an alternate costume or something of that nature for the character. And in this case, it's going to be the Superman Action Comics number one with that costume when he's holding the car up. That's gonna be the chase for this one, and I've got it pre-ordered, so you're gonna be seeing it on this show.
It's a nice figure. And I think if you're a Superman fan, this is a must-have. So it's nice. I freely admit it's nice. Yeah.
After Superman, where am I? No, I almost put up a NECA one, but Mr. Freeze. There's a Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze coming from the Batman and Robin Joel Schumacher film. This one does have some glow in the dark effects on it. I think it might actually be blacklight, maybe, from the looks of it, or it's glow in the dark. I don't know. I could probably click on the GameStop thing to see if it what it says, because I had the game site stop up. It's the freeze effects, detail, battery powered backlights. That's what it is. Yes,
That's neat.
That has a detailed.
I suppose
black light base with two bed. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Okay, so like they did all the pieces of this are reused from the Batman and Robin set where you could put together your own Mr. Freeze. So obviously they needed a reason to reuse those designs and not have people feel like they're getting two of the same figure. So the backlight effects I think definitely is pretty cool. As long as it's not like $70 or something like that. I mean, if you're in the
it's $39.99
mid 40 range,
$39.99 on pre-order.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. There are more fans of Batman and Robin than we think, and it does hold up better than we thought when it was, it is more of a fun, goofy film, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. So if you're into this, I think it's a great thing that you're going to want to get. But personally speaking, it's a pass.
Yeah.
But I do love the idea of the blacklight thing, and I think they should reuse that for more stuff down the road.
That's a pass for me as well, although we do know that I am yearning for a Bruce Wayne Batman figure because all the Batmans that I have aren't Bruce Wayne. and I'm specifically waiting for the upcoming Batfleck Dawn of Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice in his like cloth costume, I guess you would call it. But yeah, so
Yeah,
but the next
lightly
one,
armored. We don't have photos of those ones, but I will say that have to get that 1989 Batman, and I'm still dithering on Christian Bale Batman Begins Batman, because I have a Christian Bale Dark Knight Batman, but I'm like, do I want? I don't know. I think I might. So those are coming any day now, I think. But yeah.
but the
Anyway.
next one, speaking
Next,
of
what's
Batman,
next?
is the Batman and Robin Frostbite Edition Batman, which is basically just Batman in like ice effects. Another pass for me. I'm assuming this is also a reused figure from the recent Batman and Robin Batman figure that was out as well, just colored differently.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. A chance to throw around my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Although it's funny because every time I want to do like a Mr. Freeze joke from Batman and Robin, it ends up being a joke from The Simpsons. Like, I still see you. That wasn't from Batman and Robin. That was from
Yeah.
The Simpsons and McBain. So anyway.
Yeah. Next on my list of DC figures is another figure that I already have on pre-order because it's a Green Lantern, and that is Guy Gardner. Probably amongst the best Green Lanterns we have out there. I'd say out of human Green Lanterns, for me, it kind of goes Hal, not Kyle, Hal, John, Kyle, then Guy Gardner, then Simon Baz. That's all the human ones, right? I think.
Jessica Cruz.
Jessica Cruz. Yes.
Jessica Cruz.
Yes, she's higher
Leaving
up
the
on the
lady
list.
out.
Yeah, forgot about Jessica Cruz. She's a more recent one, so it's a bit less fresh in my not more recent as in like just now, but more recent as in the last 10 years. Recent character.
I gotta say, like, I'm not a big Guy Gardner fan, but I do love the look of the figure. I love all the hands that he comes with. I love that he comes with a lantern. That's awesome. But I am just very confused on how the faces we swapped. Like, is the line going to be super noticeable along the side of the face? It's going to be a face-off sort of
Like,
thing
you
where you're
don't-
like, oh, yeah.
You don't notice it on the Simon Baz, but I think with the Simon Baz, the benefit it has is where the lines
He has the lines, yeah.
are in his costume. It helps conceal that, right?
Yeah.
So we'll
That's
see.
what I mean. Like, this is a head. This is so. I'm very curious, but I mean, again, the McFarlane toys have honestly gotten really good over the years. They have really good design elements. I'd love them to move to a pinless design. We all would, but that being said, the designs of the figures are great, and they do, I think, by and large, an excellent job. So
He also comes with.
let's see. We'll see.
He also comes with different hairstyles, the classic Guy Gardner hairstyle and his more modern look. We know the chase for this figure is going to be his look from when he had taken Sinestro's old ring those days, and his like jean jacket and jeans looking costume. It looks like he's wearing a Canadian tuxedo now that I think about it.
A little bit. It's definitely not. It's definitely not a popular design. So
No.
stay tuned. Be careful for that.
I was hoping that the chase would have been the Guy Gardner Red Lantern, because that would have been cool. Because his time as a Red Lantern was cool. Next up is a figure that I don't know much about. I'm not sure how much Tupper knows, but it's Icon from Icon and Rocket, and I think they are characters that were brought in from not Image, but
It's Milestone Media.
Milestone.
So it was a it was a DC imprint from the 90s that was like Dwayne McDuffie was one of the creators, and it was like in Hispanic and characters of a non-white background, and created by BIPOC creators, and it was well received. It was never the most popular thing in the whole world, but it was well received and had some really good storylines and some really interesting concepts. And they, just like Wildstorm, they rolled that into the DC universe in the mid to late 2000s, and they're starting to do more stuff with the Milestone characters now, and that's why we have Icon as a figure. He's basically Superman. He's a Superman parable. But yeah, I mean, again, this is great stuff, especially if you grew up with those Milestone comics, and to finally start seeing some, because I know they have Static Shock as a figure, and this is he was also a Milestone character, and now we got Icon. So there's
and he doesn't have a lot
hopefully
of
more coming, because
I mean, he's got different hands.
it's a downside,
but he does have
just
the
one
cloth,
extra
he
set.
does have the cloth cape with the wire in it, which I'm loving as a new addition to action figures. But the next one we got is one that I don't think anybody's really asking for, and it's way overpriced, and that is the upcoming Joker set from the Joker movie. It's the deluxe limited edition collector's set where he's live with Murray Franklin, and so it comes with the whole talk show set and the host and the Joker, and it's $329.99 is the fucking price on this thing.
This has been a big debate amongst toy collectors of what is McFarlane thinking in this instance. And it's odd because they're usually very good priced. They're usually a little bit better priced than, say, the Marvel Legends, and in this instance, way overpriced. And the rumor is that they put it at that price point because they know it's for specific fans of the film, and that they know they'll want it, they'll pay that money. It's not meant to be something for saying, oh, well, I saw the Joker and I like the movie, I'll get this because it's $60. It's like no one except for the hardcore fans is going to spend the kind of money on this, and I think that they
I also don't think it's going to be one we're going to see 60 of on a shelf either. There's going to be limited quantities.
Oh, my guess is that it is mass produced, but my guess is that it's like 5,000 copies of this are made, and it's very, very low. And they have the molds, and if they find out that it is in fact a sellout, it will not be. I think that they're like, we'll go back to press on it, but I don't think that they're putting a whole lot out there in the world, because retail, $330 for a television set that is from a movie that was very polarizing and whose sequel tanked. I don't know. I don't know.
Still haven't watched the sequel.
Me neither.
The next one I got is another pre-order for me that's already on my list. And as soon as the picture pops up, there we go. Power Girl, that comes with Streaky. Streaky, of course, being the super cat, just like Crypto, the super dog. Her small cape, because she has one of those smaller cape things, is also the cloth with the wire. Comes with 4 extra hands, and of course, the DC base. The Chase version of this one is her more modern look with the jacket, which is still cool, but I want the classic looking one. Is the one that I'm gonna get anyway. Or
it's a nice looking figure. Even I was like, ooh, do I want to get that? But I don't, because I'm still mad at McFarlane for only producing like one standard regular Wonder Woman figure that isn't based on the movie, and it was a gold release and it was available nowhere. So, and it was like $60. I'm like, just give me that figure with a sword and a shield, $29.99, please. Like, just why you monsters. This is a nice one. and I think it's going to look really good when it's released.
I think it's gonna look really nice on my shelf. I gotta say the next one I have from DC, not a character I'm big on, Tempest. The water effects on him look kind of cool though, so it's got that going for it. It's coming out the same time, around the same time as Dark Flash and Guy Gardner and Power Girl as well, but. He's kind of like one of those tertiary Titans characters / secondary Aquaman characters, which aren't like very popular niches.
I have no interest in this toy, I guess is the best way for me to say it. I have no interest in this toy. But if you want an action figure that sort of looks like Chris Cornell from the earlier Soundgarden days, I mean, why wouldn't you want this?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are Tempest fans out there. It's just not us.
So true.
And then, so that was the last of the ones that I had for DC, but Tupper provided me some photos that I didn't even know about yet. The first one being Adam Strange. That's coming up from DC Multiverse from McFarlane. A character that I like, and I enjoy reading stories about Adam Strange, but I'm not one that I like enough to have an action figure of.
I don't know, man. It's got that great retro look for like retro science fiction thing, and he comes with like different helmets, and he's got like his gun, and I think there's a shooting effect. Like I don't know, like it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty cool looking toy, I gotta say.
It might be one of the ones where if I see it in person, I might change my mind and decide to pick it up. But as it stands now, it's not on my list. It's on my radar because I know about it, but it's not on my list. And I think you had given me one other one, and that is
2 other ones.
Oh, yes, that's right. Sorry. Where did the other one go? There it is. We'll do that one first. Both of these are actually ones that I will be getting. The first one being the classic Deadshot look. I love Deadshot, one of DC's best assassin characters, Floyd Lawton.
Mm-hmm.
And this is his best look. His classic Deadshot look is my favorite, in at least in my opinion. And
this is bummed out. I don't have very many bad guy figures for McFarlane because Deadshot too, and this is a solid design. So yeah, I mean, again, you never know. We'll see it when it comes out. I may be like, I have to have this, but it looks great. It looks great, man. Like. The good-looking toy.
And the last one is one that I think I'm definitely going to get because it's a very seminal story in the character's history. That's the Killing Joker that will be coming. The version of him, because there's different looks from the Killing Joke. This is him in his purple trench coat with the camera. Before he does the unspeakable thing that he does in that thing, very polarizing, of course, and very highly criticized book. The Killing Joke was for obvious to us reasons and valid reasons, but
Google it.
Yeah,
you don't know what we're talking about. Google it.
Yes. So
this is a toy podcast. We'll save that shit for the other podcast.
That's right.
Richie goes, is this a statue or a toy? And I'm like, you can see the moving, you see the joints, Richie. It's a toy.
Closer, I could see it, but
it's a toy. He's like, I don't want no damn statue, and I was like, it's an action figure. He's like, okay, I want that.
As long as it's an action figure, I'll want it. I mean, I do have statues, but I don't want a Killing Joke statue. I want a posable thing.
True.
Even though I'm probably just going to pose him in that pose with the camera, but I bet you actually, now that I think about it, the chase for that will probably be the shorts and Bermuda shirt.
I'm guessing that'll be the chase. Yes.
Yeah. And if that's
it's from.
If that's the case,
This is the cover version that would be in the book ones, and yeah, Richie, that's a must get for. Would you get both of them?
I think I might I would have to, because they're really iconic Joker looks, and
That's true.
I don't think I could make that decision. I don't think that is one that I would not feel guilty about getting a duplicate of. Like, whereas the Green Lantern with the swappable Simon Baz and Tomar 2, I considered getting a different one so I didn't have to swap the heads, but I felt it would be dumb, and I felt guilty about it, so I didn't do it.
And you made a wise decision, because what if you're going to throw your money away? I can think of several better ways.
That's right. Yes, so that comes.
So I had an extra $40, and I decided to get the same toy I already have, so I could have both heads out on display at the same time.
Yeah.
I might have had to been like, Richie, your whole financial system is off kilter here, and we're talking about collecting action figures, so we already have a fucked up system when it comes to our financial obligations.
Whereas the difference in the two Jokers is that it's literally two different figures, because it's two different looks.
Yeah.
Whereas the only difference in the Green Lanterns literally would be it would have a different head. So
Yep.
I'm about
Exactly.
due to swap out his head too, because Tomar's been up there for a while. I've got to get some Abin Sur love.
Oh, we're really pushing the line on how dorky we can be on this podcast. Let me just tell you right now. You know, it's time for me to change the head on my Tomar 2 back to Abin Sur. Me some yes Sur action going on, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake. Are terrible. What's next? Are we doing G.I. Joe now?
Yeah, we're gonna move along to your G.I. Joe, and
It's a lot of
my
G.I.
hilarious
Joe.
names for them. So just let me prep the first one. And just let me go back to.
Yeah, it was big reveal week for G.I. Joe. A bunch of new stuff that's coming, I think, in the next 6 months or so. They usually have 3 releases every year. They have a big one, and then they have 2 smaller ones. And I think this is a mix of a bigger and smaller one, but there's definitely more coming this year. But
All right.
lots of interesting stuff. So what's the first one you have on your screen?
That I didn't know the name of, and just let the thing switch. I just called them Cobra Ninja Buddies.
Go for Ninja Buddies. I mean, they are buddies. They're very buddy. They're very buddy. But their actual names are Slice and Dice. They come from a more the later G.I. Joe series towards like the 1990s, where when these guys came out, they had movable parts. Actually have them like with a spring, and they would like do a punch or do a kick. I didn't really love the designs of those, and they kind of hampered the posability. There will be no springs in these ones. This is an awesome set. Like, I gotta say, if you love ninjas like I like ninjas, this is on your list, because again, like, cool hats, cool masks, lots of different sword effects, lots of different hands. Again, 2 extra sets of hands with each figure. This is like, if you like Ninja G.I. Joe toys, this is a must get, and it's going to be like $60, $70, but honestly, this is, for somebody like, this is worth every penny. Like, it is gold. Very, very cool. Love it. So yes, can't wait to see that one on shelves.
So the next one I named Cobra Talon, because one of the heads reminds me of the Talon figure from the Talon character from Batman, from the Court of Owls. So he's Cobra Talon.
Richie must be talking about Dark Lawn, which is the guy with the green. He is a Dreadnought, I believe. He's either a Dreadnought or he's a member of Destro's troops. and maybe it's Destro. I think it's Destro, and he's not a Dreadnought. Either way, some people are very excited for this figure. The sword looks really cool, and his big gun is nice and weird. Was never a favorite of mine growing up, but it is, I don't know, I'll have to wait and see the design when it's on shelves. This is just a digital render, so maybe. But it is funny that they put a Darklon figure at all. We haven't even gotten like the gold masked Destro yet, and we already have a Darklon figure, so that's pretty funny. And I'm not counting the Prophet Destro that came out like in the first year of the G.I. Joe releases, who had a gold mask. I'm not counting him. I'm talking about like the actual Destro Forces character. That one. Anyway, this is fine. People are freaking out about it. It's just fine for me, but the sword is pretty cool. I gotta say, it's a pretty cool sword. So, yeah, it's G.I. Joe. There you go. What's next?
Your next one might be my only close to accurate one, because I think he's a Cobra Trooper.
I'm gonna guess the Televiper.
That's
purple guy.
Yeah, with the two heads and the black backpacky thing and the gun.
Yeah. So that's the retro Televiper. So the Televiper is one of the ones that I absolutely have to get, and he was released in 2023 with the Trouble Bubble. So it was a whole like the little.
I remember the Trouble Bubble.
The ship, and again it was pretty expensive. I think it was $130 because of the vehicle accessory. But people like me were like, oh, we just want the Televiper. So now we have our own Televiper. He's coming to the retro line. It's really cool that they gave him 2 extra heads. Usually they just come with 1, if any. So no extra hands, but he does come with 2 extra heads. So this is a must pick up. I've been waiting for this to hit the retro line when they announced it. So I'm getting this one faux show. Definitely excited about it. Yay, Televiper.
The next one on your list, I only named this because of what he's doing in his second head, and that's G.I. Bubblegum, because he's blowing bubble gum.
G.I. Bubblegum. This is Breaker. This is Mass Device Breaker, so it's from the original G.I. Joe cartoon movie that started off the animated series back in the 80s. And it's nice. I love the bubble blowing thing. This is a toy I had when I was a kid. He was not blowing a bubble. But he is one of the original G.I. Joe lines. We've already seen him in the classified line, but without the bubble blowing. So this is a maybe. This is a maybe for me. It was, whatever. But it is cool that they're doing a whole Mass Device figure for Joe now. So, yeah.
All right.
Let's see what the design looks like when it comes out and it's not digital.
Now the next one, I know I should
Next
know.
up.
I know I should know his name, and I couldn't. It just would not come to me, so I just called him G. I forgot his name.
Gee, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess you're talking about Flint.
Yes, that is the one. Fuck.
Yeah. So Flint is one of the more popular G.I. Joe characters. This is his retro look, which matches the 1980s toy. Obviously, they have 2 Flint figures out, one that was Tiger Force and the one that they put out, the original line back in 2020, 21. This is a great looking figure, and if you're like me and you enjoy the character of Flint, I mean, this is, again, another must get. An absolute get, because again they duplicated and updated his form perfectly, and unlike the Flint that they put out as a part of the classified line before, there's no giant chest piece preventing his ab crunch movement. So that's why we'll be getting this Flint figure, but I'm happy to see him join the retro line. Yay.
Yeah, that's why I knew.
What's next?
That's why I should know that one, and I felt a little guilty for not knowing it, and I know if I forgot his name, I knew Tupper would know that I should have known that one. So, see, Tupper was able to decide.
I mean, it is pretty. it is pretty clever that he said GI, forgot his name.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Now, the next one, because it makes me think of Power Rangers Zords, I call it GI Zord. But I noticed when I was going through things earlier that I have GI capitalized, followed by the Z in Zord capitalized, so it just looks like Jizzord.
Zord. It's embarrassing for you. This is the one that collectors like me are very excited about. This is the snake armor. It even says it right on it, Richie. Snake. It's Nake. So you could have picked. You could. Yeah, reading, I know. Now we don't know. This is the hard part though, because we don't know if this is if this toy opens up and allows you to put a figure in, which is what the snake armor originally allowed you to do. It snapped around the old GI Joe figures, and you could use them in the same way. Does this guy open up? Are you going to be able to put a GI Joe figure inside? One can only hope. But if it's just a giant robot, that'd be really cool. I'm also wondering if the arms, if there's any sort of lateral movement on the arms, if they raise and lower to the sides. It doesn't really look like it. So a lot of this is hard to determine because it's a digital render. But this, it doesn't really matter because as long as it's not $100, this is a must get. Like, I had the snake armor as a kid. This is a great update. It looks awesome. We knew this was coming. In my hands right now. I want this. Oh, I'm very excited to see the actual build if it does open up. I'm going to guess it does open up and that you can put a classified figure in it. So this is going to be a big boy. This is going to be at least twice as big as the regular GI Joe figures. So it's probably going to be about $80, but this is going to be $80 well spent if you're a fan of GI Joe like I am. This is a must get.
All right, next one. Just because he reminded me of Abraham from The Walking Dead because of the red hair, I just called him Abraham. So.
Well, this is I had this as a kid, had both figure and had the vehicle itself. It's the AWE Striker is what it's called, and Crankcase is the name of the GI Joe. Is really wonderful that they brought it out. I'm not a big fan of the vehicle accessories just because they are big, because they're 6-inch figures. They're big toys, and I don't have the space for them. Even if I had the money, I don't have the space for them. So it's like, I'm glad they make them, but I'm hoping that they just put the figure out in the retro line at some point. But I do love that they did this, and there's a lot of great accessories that come with this, and it is super cool looking, and it does match up with the old toy. So good on you, Hasbro, for making this, and let's hope you don't lose too much money when it sits on short toy shelves, because $130 is an awful lot of money for collectors. But it might come down to 80. And if it comes down to 80, it's worth getting, man. It's worth getting.
I just realized for that whole part, I kept because I've been putting pictures up and then showing us. I left the picture up the whole time on that one. Oh, well. Anyways, just a little thing that popped up in my brain as I was doing that. All right, next one I called Redneck Joe, spelled J-O because she's a lady.
Dare you insult the wonderful cover girl that way? This retro cover girl. We've seen her in the line already. Again, this is a maybe. I love the ball cap and the ponytail with the extra head, and I love that she comes with a wrench because she came with one of the vehicles back in the day. Don't ask me which one. There was an awful lot. Maybe it was the GI Joe tank. It might have been the tank. She might have been the tank driver. I can't remember. So this is a maybe. It's one of those things that if I see it and the price is right, I would pick it up. Probably will be because it's a female character. But Scarlett's still one of my favorite GI Joes, so whatever. Fuck it. All right. Misogynists. We need to make this stuff.
The last GI Joe.
And finally,
you have on the list, I love, it's my favorite name. I called it Scuba Steves.
Scuba Steves. They're literally just the Mass Device Diver 2-pack. Like, that's all the name of this. They're just a generic Joe and a generic Cobra from the Mass Device cartoons, if you watch the cartoons. Lots of accessories. If you love the diver figures, you're going to want to get this. There's a lot of stuff that's included. None of it interests me because I don't dig on the diving stuff too much. They're great. I mean, but you have to get the stands for them because they can't just stand there on the shelf. You got to make them look like they're floating in water. So it's a lot of standing stuff to put them through. But if you're into diver figures, this is going to be something you're going to want to get.
Or you could get like a small aquarium and then fill it with resin so it looks like they're like floating in water.
But you can't move them once they're in resin, Richie.
I know, but
I do love the idea of getting a aquarium, putting them in there with like wires and stuff like that, and little stands, and have them all like doing a scene.
There, if there was no resin, I guess.
Oh, there you go. See, and you can also put a sheen across the glass that makes it look like water. Oh, there you go.
I suppose.
We will never do this on this show, but I would love to see it done. So if you do it, send us photos.
All right, so that rounds off the G.I. Joes. I didn't miss any, eh? From your list? Okay.
There's so many. There's so many. And that's only half of this year's assortment, and there's so many. So, oh my God. Anyway, what's next?
Next, we're moving on to the NECA horror figures that are coming up. The first one being, this one I'm like 70% sure I want, because it looks really cool. But I think I just want to look at it in person to sort of see the details a bit closer. But it's the Evil Dead Ash and Cheryl. Cheryl has two different heads. She's Deadite Cheryl, of course, and we've got a bloody Ash with a bloody Ash face and another head, and we've got the chainsaw, the axe, a couple extra hands, good amount of accessories. This one's coming at $89.99. But I think that's a good price for a duo NECA figure.
There's a lot of stuff included in this.
Yeah.
Like and NECA stuff is usually priced a little higher anyway because of the quality of what goes into them. So yeah.
So that's I'm probably gonna get it.
You're probably gonna get this. Yeah. I mean, come on, it's got her burial cross in it. That alone, I think, for you is worth it because you can have him literally just placing it, and you can put him on the shelf, like just placing it like that.
The next one, there's a Frankenstein figure from Bride of Frankenstein. That's a black and white version of the figure. Looks cool. I'm not into I enjoy the Universal monsters as a medium, but not something I'm gonna start collecting, but I did want to show it because it does look cool. And
it does look cool. It really does.
So if I was gonna start a Universal Monsters collection, that would probably be on my list. But my horror collection is more of the 90s on type horror. A bit of 80s in there too. Next up after Frankenstein is, where is it? A couple figures from Return of the Living Dead, and that is Trash and Suicide are their names. I was never that big into the Return of the Living Dead movies. I don't know, they never like caught just bit me enough to like stay on, like even though they're the zombie
never
genre.
connected.
Never connected. Even though they're the zombie genre, it's more of a, I don't know, I don't like that type of zombie, I guess is the best way to describe it. So
they're niche characters, and it's a niche line as far as I'm concerned. Like, but they make a good 2-pack, and it's gonna be fun to see a character called Suicide on toy shelves.
Yeah, Trash and Suicide.
They might change that name before they put it out on toy stores. Let me tell you, or call it like and X out most of the things or something like that. Because
well, I mean, it's on the website, so.
Content warning. We say the a couple times.
Yes.
Don't demonetize us, YouTube. I swear we weren't actually talking about that thing. It's a character's name.
Exactly.
I swear.
The next one is actually out, but I still included it because it's really cool. Because it like just came out, and that's there's two different versions, and I should have put up the other version picture as well, but I just included the one Megan, and that's the one that comes with more accessories because it looks cooler. The other one does have the cloth, like it's a cloth dress, which is kind of cool. You know how I feel like some of the cloth accessories, but I think the amount of accessories that you get with with this version is better, and the one with more accessories is cheaper. The cloth figure, which comes with less, like this one comes with three extra heads. 2 extra faces, 5 extra hands, and 5 weapon accessories. Whereas the cloth version that is more expensive comes with 1 extra head, 3 faces, 2 weapons, and 2 extra hands. So not a lot, and I did actually go back and pick it up the other day.
He did pick it.
That was my surprise for the episode. I was gonna save it for later maybe, but I'm like, I got it here. I do love this about the NECA boxes, and that's they do have it covered, and then you can actually look at the figure as well. So that'll be put on my shelf. That'll allow me to finally rearrange my horror setup that I got going on.
Yeah. It's a good pickup. Megan's a good movie, and the sequel should be bonk.
The trailer for the sequel just recently dropped, so there is that. Oh, where is the button? There it is. Okay, and oh yes, I have a couple Texas Chainsaw Massacre characters to put up there. Come on, change on the screen. I put them both on at the same time just because it was easier to do it that way. But there's the hitchhiker, they call him, or the hiker. Or the hitchhiker, yeah, and then there's the 8-inch cloth Texas Chainsaw Massacre of Leatherface is his name. I almost forgot his name. Leatherface. There was another one that just recently came out that wasn't clothed figure, but this one actually looks better in this case, at least in my opinion.
I've never been a big fan of the cloth, so
for me, like
I'm not a. One might say I am not a man of the cloth, Richie.
No, I do like it in
and
capes.
I mean that both in the case of toys and in general. It's never been my thing.
I like the cloth capes. I don't think I actually have any cloth characters at the moment. No, just the capes. See, I think is the only thing I got on figures right now. And that's why I've been reluctant on some of the Freddy figures that are out there, because they're all like heavily cloth. All right, back to the other figures. Where is it? Oh, where am I? And I can't find it on my list. Oh, there it goes. Texas.
We're done.
We are done. Yeah, that is the last of it. That's all the horror ones. Yeah. So that is all the figures.
A lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah, there's
a lot of stuff. It's gonna, and that's not even the stuff that is already coming out. Again, like the Batman '89 and the Christian Bale Batman, and for me, the retro.
It's just the stuff that are like on pre-order sites, like GameStop.
Yeah, I mean, there's still Dr. Mindbender is coming out for G.I. Joe. I have to get that. Oh, nice. I have to get the retro Viper. So there's some stuff still coming out. in the coming weeks. It's gonna be a big year. It's gonna be a big year, and again, Toy Fair is coming, so there'll be announcements in March and April that when we do this, we'll be talking about Toy Fair. We'll probably do a whole Toy Fair episode about some of the stuff that's coming out.
The hair on this one's cool because it's just not all on this head. It's not all just like one mass. Like there's actually like separate parts to the hair. Like whereas this one, it's all together. Just cool little detail I noticed.
Surprise unboxing on this episode of Repackaged. Richie opening up. Is that the new figure that you were going to reveal?
Yeah.
No,
actually,
like,
no.
Hey,
that's not
surprise.
That isn't the new one that I was going to reveal. That was going to be still going to be the surprise. I do have another one that for my newest. Though this technically is my newest because I just got it yesterday. But. She's got some good movability. You could totally do like her dance move poses.
Well, I would assume.
Nice.
I would assume.
Where was I? Oh no, there's another figure that up until I bought this yesterday. That was my most recent, which I'll bring up now because I got the chase version of the Christopher Reeve Superman, and it's really funny because I brought it up. I like when it got delivered, I brought it in. I took a quick look at it, and I didn't. It didn't even register that. Didn't even register to me that the suit was. Darker in color. I just saw, I got my Christopher Reeve Superman, I'll put that downstairs, and then I get it, start opening, I'm like, oh my god, the chase for the Christopher Reeve Superman is from Superman 3 when he's affected by red kryptonite and he's drunk in the bar. You can even see the stubble on his face in both this and in the other head. Like it's all the muted colors, and the cape itself is like blackens, and like at the edge there's still some, like you can still see some of like the darkened red.
It's very obvious to me, which is why when you got it and you were like, it's the chase figure, I'm like, it's so obviously so much darker.
It was also dark when I pulled it in, so like
sure, pot brain once again affecting Richie. I'm just happy that it was a good thing. Yes. You got it and you're like, oh, I actually do want this. This is actually fun.
Yeah.
This is my most recent pickup was done when I was in Ottawa with Richie, and I went out with Richie, and I ended up getting this guy. Was Quick Kick from the G.I. Joe line. He came out last year, but he was one of the ones on my list that I was like, if I see this guy at the Price is Right, I'll pick him up, and I did. It's a ninja toy, and I'm a big fan of ninja action figure stuff. Obviously, thank you, Snake Eyes. But this guy is really, again, the posability is really strong on him. You can put him in some really great poses, and he comes with a ton of accessories, including a chocolate bar for some strange reason, but also like an alternate head. He has a backpack, which I don't have on him, which he comes with swords. He comes with 5 other hands.
So just
like
noticed,
he has.
Sorry to cut you off, Tupper. That
whole bunch of stuff.
For some reason, the screen that was viewing was completely black, so they may not have seen your figure or my figure. So I'm just going to put him back up in the screen for a second. So, and when it comes to video wise, I'm sorry for that black nothingness in that part of the video.
When Richie gets that, he'll just edit and put a little scrolling bar and be like, the black will go away, I promise. It's just our voices for a period of time. These are good pickups. Again, I think the great thing about toy collecting is sometimes you're like, I would like to have this thing. Then you get it, and it ends up being better than you were expecting. And I think in both of these instances, we were happy to get the toys, but once we opened them up, we realized that they're better than we were expecting.
Yeah.
And this quick kick is definitely better than what I was expecting. I thought he'd be pretty cool, but I'm just surprised with what can be done with him, and just how great he kind of looks posed on the shelf.
That's the best way for a surprise for a figure, to be surprised and be like, oh, I love that, instead of being like, oh, fuck.
Yes, and I mean, we do have stuff in our collections we'll talk about in the coming weeks where we'll be like, this was not as good as we thought it was going to be. We have more than one figure in our collections that we're not sorry we paid for, but
there are parts
would be considered a disappointment.
There's aspects of it that we criticize. One note to bring up, that's new stuff that came out for pre-order since we prepared this, so I don't have photos, but it's worth mentioning it, is the new Marvel stuff that's coming out, the Banshee, Ultimate Iron Man, Adam Warlock, Rom, and then the two that I pre-ordered, which is Dakin and Miles. So
Miles, yeah.
Yeah, they I
gotta say that...
Sorry?
Go ahead.
They have different card backs than all the other ones. They're generally themed. The X-Men 97 have that theme, the Spider-Man, or sometimes they'll just in the box, but this one they all have like the blue comic-y striped background with the title of what it was, and so.
Hey, they're not very collector-friendly because they're more, again, like that blister packaging.
Clamshells.
Hey, clamshells. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. I got to say that I never loved that Ultimate Iron Man look,
I don't like it at all.
But the toy looks really cool. The toy is cool. I will say that I think there's something about the transition of that kind of bulky armor from a page of a comic to real world with the new modeling techniques that they have, because I had an old version of the Iron Man suit from the Ultimate Universe back when I was getting the Toy Biz toys, and it was fine, but I was like, this is disappointing because it was all bulky and everything. But I think this one they really did a good job manga-ing up the design. It's very anime influenced, and I think it actually works for the figure, at least from the photos that I've seen and the motion that they got it to do.
The Dakin is looking really cool, or Dark Wolf. It's the Dark Avengers.
Dakin.
Dakin.
It's not Dakin. That sounds like bacon. It's Dakin.
It's Dakin. I'm gonna find out, and we'll
do you have a phonetic spelling of that? Do you prove it, or is that what you're assuming?
That's what I am assuming I am correct about.
Why would it be Dakin? That's very anglicized. Dakin sounds more Japanese, and of course the character is half Japanese.
That's a valid point.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying this is my thought process. If it is Dakin, I'm going to be very disappointed. It's going to be like when I was a kid and I thought it was Magneto, and I was like, that sounds so much better than Magneto. It took me
Magneto's so
years
much better
to get
than Magneto. Magneto sounds dumb.
Used to... Oh, you're a... Magneto is not... Magneto is cooler than Magneto now, but when I was a kid, I didn't know what a Magneto was. It's like, oh, he's so neato, but Magneto sounds really, really menacing. And then, of course, you hear the proper way, and it's like, oh, no, it's Magneto. Like, be anything but Magneto. But when I was a kid, I did think it was Magneto.
I will look into that Dakin pronunciation, and we will circle back to that next episode.
I'm telling you, it's Dakin.
If I have to,
whatever.
I will somehow reach the creator and have him pronounce it for us. I don't know how, but I will. If it proves me right.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Making Dakin on the bacon.
There you have it, folks. That's another episode of Speeding Bullets Repackaged for you. All the stuff that is coming up soon.
For joining us on this toy journey.
Yeah. And we don't know what we're going to do next for our next episode yet, but it will be good.
That's a great way to get people to keep tuning in, Richie.
We just haven't planned it.
We don't know what we're gonna do,
but it's gonna be good.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you guys a little bit of a hint that moving forward, I have a bunch of retro shit in my apartment because I have a bunch of old toys. So I will be pulling out, I think, a retro toy from my collection, and not just like an old Batman toy, but like a retro toy. Something you may have forgotten that you had, and we're going to be showing that on every future episode. So I'm going to go through my stuff, and I'm going to find some of the old, obscure toys, and we're going to show those to you. So that'll be cool for your nostalgia kick. And we'll be doing more reviews. Richie and I are going to have some top 5 lists coming up too. So we have a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about our top 5. For me, top 5 G.I. Joe and top 5 Cobra characters. Richie's going to do his top 5 McFarlane figures. We're probably going to do our favorite Batmans and our favorite Supermans. We got some
millions of places
fun stuff.
To go. Like I'll be featuring a figure as well every episode. Like the last couple we did specific, like oldest or not necessarily oldest, but older figure, and this time we did our newest figure. Whereas, like I have a plethora of Supermans. I can go through my Supermans.
There he is again. Plethora, the word of the week.
That's right.
Every time you hear us say plethora, drink.
That's right. Plethora.
Watching us on YouTube, and you... Yeah, well, no, that doesn't count when you do it that way. It has to be organic, Richie. So that would be 3 drinks. Every time you saw me drinking throughout the episode or saw me vaping, not pot, by the way, just so everyone's aware, it's views. Send me more free ones. It's not great, but it's not bad. No, wait, now they're not going to send me anything because I said it's not great, but it's not bad. Winning
you're giving
views.
Not great, but not bad.
It's passable.
It works.
Anyway, yeah. You drink whenever you see us doing that sort of stuff. And on that note, folks,
have a good one.
Bye. Get your toy attic on.
Get some. Get some. Get some.
You froze for me. Right.
We're supposed to be using that for the other podcast, so stay tuned to the other podcast. Bye.
1984, I know it's hard to remember. All 1980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall now.
She's really struggling.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Ah, there you are. I mean,
Can you hear me? Ha ha. So funny. What a funny man. You bastard.
yeah.
You bastard.